Hey everyone, back again. Alright, so I'm gonna go with my current flow and do as I did yesterday, and try a few different things. It's a smorgasbord of intuitive tools that I am trialing, testing, sinking my teeth into, and just like learning to go with my flow. So I've got no idea where this is gonna go, but I did a bit of a channel today, so I've got a little message, and then I'm just gonna wing it again. Okay, here we go. The law of physics states that a three-body problem is just that, a problem to be solved. But if you look at it that way, there's no satisfaction to be had. A mindset shift to unity and the beauty it holds solves more problems than ever before. As you increase your flow to know more with wonder and awe, then we can see more delicately balanced intricacies in mind and thought. Do you observe more than you ever thought possible? If the answer is yes, you've passed the test and can move on to more. Do you see how this works? Getting stuck in one mind on one thing or feeling closes the door on understanding your flaws, or more recalled wisdom from before the fall, those halls that know it all. Creativity, inventiveness, imagination, repatriation to the alien nations requires us all to open the doors of perception and ask for more views and concepts of our reality. We do adore and applaud how you put forward your ideas and open-minded thoughts, as this causes others to think on how they feel about that thought, such as a massive attack or smoke signals on lack of heart-based thought, or how we're up in the clouds raining down love. The wisdom of our shared histories, connections and callings to take care of the human race, to reach them and teach them the lessons we learnt, to observe from all points of view, to serve the proverbs. Such as you, to increase the speed of this great shift, we lift you higher and inspire with myths and legends, for there's a legion requiring assistance within the alliance. We strive to encourage the release of fear. So you can hear us clearly, as in telepathically, emphatically, empathetically. Never underestimate the importance of the body's language. It's so funny that I've been getting right into the old fairy tales, and The Little Mermaid was always my favourite. And I've really been connecting, to music and lyrics so much, but you know, I've been listening to some of these, like the lyrics of the Little Mermaid songs, and you know, like Phantom of the Opera. I mean, that's not a fairy tale, but the lyrics of these, you know, really popular songs out there, and God, I mean, you can just like, it's just amazing, you know, the messages that come through, you know, these creative creatures, and it's just insane. Oh yeah, like yeah, like today, like that line, the massive attack. So I channeled that message this morning, and then this afternoon the message, like the words, you know, the massive attack came in again, like really full on it, and I'm like, what the freak, massive attack? Is there going to be a massive attack? There's not going to be a massive attack, by the way. But then I realized they're saying it's the band, or the group, and then I put a playlist on Massive Attack, and just all the names of their songs and the lyrics of their songs, it was so synchronistic and ridiculous. You should check it out. And this is the thing, you know, like, you get a message come in from our alien, our star family, and you get this like a Massive Attack message, and you're like, you freak out. But then, I mean, this is what I was saying kind of yesterday, you've really got to be open-minded with the messages you get, and like feel into it and not just react. I guess that goes with anything, but yeah, it's like, you know, it is like a really good really good reminder that there's multiple meanings for these messages that come down, people are channeling. And you know, like, I mean, I've looked at a lot of, yeah, I mean, I don't even want to get into like the whole Phoenix Rising, you know, end of the world type thing, but you know what, it's like the death card in a tarot deck. You know, people get ridiculously triggered by the word, and they shut down and they freak out and they have an automatic reaction. But like the death card in the tarot it's much more, it's like becoming a butterfly, it's transformation, it is the cocoon phase type thing, you know. Yeah, because I mean, you got to think, like, all these ancient traditions, death was a gateway to your ascension type thing, almost. Like, it was not an end at all. They revered this process of what they call death, or the, you know, afterlife or whatever. I'm getting sidetracked, but anyway, there's multiple meanings for messages and words and channelings and all this. And yeah, like I was saying in my last message, it's like, it's really good training to actually like receiving a Massive Attack message and not reacting, interpreting what is coming through and what, you know, they're trying to get across. And I think this is kind of what they're telling me now, is that like how difficult, and it's like skating on thin ice, tender hooks type. It's a very delicate process, this connection phase, especially with a lot of people awakening and experiencing some really full-on things really suddenly, because I mean, a lot of, like, it's really happening quickly. Like, there's so many people experiencing really quick transformations within their connection abilities, and there's and you know, it's a very delicate phase where a lot of people will start to experience things and freak out. I've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but anyway, I think they're kind of what are you kind of getting at? Yeah, it's just another kind of reminder that you may experience some things happen, jumping to conclusions and reacting in a very triggered way. As with anything, it's never a healthy thing to happen. So, you know, to really feel into it, I think that's what they're getting at. and it's kind of what my poem was about the other day, is that we can't lead with the brain. Like the brain will just say what a word's meaning is and tell you like the most common, or maybe some even dramatic, or the brain's decisions on some of these things doesn't lead you down the right paths. And that's where the heart-based connection and heart-based understanding is needed at this time, so people don't jump into states of fear and freak out and things like that. And this goes for all times, but now is a really important time to understand this, that we really need to think with our heart, or allow, the brain needs to understand that we need to take a minute to feel into our thoughts before we react. Really, really important. We need to have conversations between our heart and brain before we actually decide to do anything or decide on anything. And that comes down to also kind of saying that to ensure that they're your feelings and your thoughts and opinions of things, like cleanly yours, like your thoughts are no longer being affected by prior programming or trauma from society's past, or whatever, your family's past, or whatever trauma you hold inside yourself. We can't make clean decisions, like self decisions, true self sovereignty decisions for ourselves or our loved ones, or like whatever, until we've cleaned up our thoughts, cleaned up our feelings, and our thoughts and feelings are communicating in a clean way, that we can trust that this is my mind only and my heart only, and that you can trust that this is just you making the choices for yourself and the decisions for yourself from whatever is coming in, information or not just information, data, anything that is entering your energetic system in any way, that you can know how to process and deal with any experience that is put before you. And I'm just really getting, the message and the understanding that this is going to be really important for people in the, I know it's happening already for a lot of people, but because it's happened to me during the last, especially 18 months, experiencing some really different and unique things that challenge your concept of reality and history and all this stuff. I'm trying to put it really delicately, but a lot of people, even if anyone watches this, but I'm doing my part, may not believe me until it happens to them. And this is the thing, and this is why I'm doing this, because when it happens, if you watch this and then then something happens, and I'm just hoping that I can help someone in some way if they go through a similar experience to what I've gone through, or even if that's not the case, maybe dealing with any challenging situation, if it's put before you, being in a state of self-empowerment and self-sovereignty, and knowing how your brain and heart, like the feelings and the thoughts need to work together, the teamwork, the body's teamwork, your senses, what you're actually sensing, your body, mind, your heart, mind, how you feel about what you're sensing, and your mind, what you think about what you're sensing and feeling. So it's the three body. It's the three body or the three mind. And understanding and work, having those minds work together in simpatico, a symphony. They're a team, and they are aware of each other, and they're now talking to each other rather than all trying to control the one body, like that whole Inside Out. What's that movie? Inside Out? Yeah. Yeah, so that's that. I got pretty full on pretty quickly, but it's obviously really important. I don't know. I know a lot of people, not many people watch my videos, and I get that, but for whoever's watching my videos, I don't know if you're, out there watching this stuff that I watch, but I'm well aware, and I'm, the stuff that I watch on, like YouTube, or the communities that I'm in touch with now, that interest me, like my communities, there is a lot of people reaching out and asking questions about what is going on with them. Like they've all of a sudden started seeing the orbs, or and this type of thing, like seeing things in the sky, and it's kind of freaked them out, and blah blah blah. And so I know that more and more people are going through this, and it's going to continue to happen. So whether you believe me or not, like, I trust me, is kind of like, yeah, trust me, and don't get like carried away with the news media type thing. Like, it is really important at this stage for us to start thinking for ourselves, and feeling for ourselves, and looking into healing and getting in touch with our own body and connecting. And they keep coming through with this telepathic ability, that I believe that we all have. But to start actually practicing it, because we will be needing it. I don't exactly know why, but maybe because that is truest form of understanding the truth. You know, like if there's a lot of crazy stuff going on around us, if you could trust the messages you were receiving to know what was right and what was not, that could, you know, really help you in a lot of different situations. You know, like so many of us struggle with, like, what do you believe these days? Because one person says this, one person says that, and like, it is just like crazy days. But if you really get in touch with yourself and you know, work on your intuition and your energetic senses and these clear abilities, it is possible, and it will increase. So if you start working with it, it will absolutely assist us to really deal with this massive transformative phase that the entire planet is going through. That got really deep. I didn't know I was going to go there, but anyway, just going to go like, that's my, well, that's their kind of little teaching moment, encouragement, to really start connecting with them so you can know the truth for yourself. It's not like an opinion, it's not like who else's idea or opinion or fear am I, like, let's face it, there's so many freaking choices to be had when it comes to this kind of what's going on in the world. You know, if you work on that within yourself, you don't have to worry, because you're in the know, and then you can calm, you can make the right choices for yourself, and you know which path to take. You know what's right for you. There's much less struggle, so much more understanding, much less drama, you know, and stress and all that. Yeah, like, if that kind of, you know, makes sense, that, you know, it's such a smart choice to be looking into this stuff, to start learning it for yourself. Intuition, you know, your empathy or telepathy, same kind of thing. It's the same thing, telepathy, empathy, you know, thinking outside the box. As the crow, you know, eagle eye view, the big picture view, the more you can expand your mind, your way of thinking, different ways you could look at one thing, you are expanding your mind. And, you know, if you're doing that with your heart, if you're exercising your mind and your heart, you know, this is where, you know, your intuition comes into it as well. Like, exercise your gut, your heart and your mind, your intuition, your feelings and your thoughts. Yeah, I mean, this is how we move forward as individuals and society, and because when you have got your intuition working for you, when you've got your heart working for you, and you've got an open mind working for you, you are unstoppable. You know which choice you know to make. You know how to handle a situation. You are getting advice from anyone that you want, connected to, interested in, pretty much. You know, it's like, why wouldn't you be wanting to freaking do this for yourself? It's the answer to everything. It's literally the answer to get all the answers that you've ever wanted. That's it. I don't know. I can't say anymore. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that got pretty full on. We'll see where we go. So here comes the fun stuff. I will get, when I do roll some dice. I dropped one. I keep dropping things today. 3 dice. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. And 6. 2, 3, 4. One, 3, 3. I just got words come in. I could quite hear it. 1, 3, 3. Put your hands on me. 2, 3, 4. Walk out the door. 3, 4, 5. Let's get high. I wonder sometimes who my freaking guides are. Got some, I kind of said before, I think freaking Jim Morrison might be one of my guides. Things get a little bit strange. Alright, let's see what charms come out. I got a 10-cent piece. There's feathers. There's feathers. Oh yeah, that reminds me. So 10. Obviously we got Elizabeth's head on the back. What year is it? 2001. 21? 3? I got a little blue teddy bear and the blue disco ball. It's funny, like literally like half an hour ago, I got the kind of, I was looking at the pool light outside, it's a blue light, and I was like, blue light disco, and now I've got the blue disco ball. So it's a blue light disco. It's party time. It's well past party time. It's party time with the teddy bears. Big Ted. My Big Ted. The blue kind of looks like a gummy bear lolly. The the blue avians, birds again, blue avians have been coming through heaps. They're absolute thing. I've always had kind of like a connection to like Quetzalcoatl, you know, like the feathered serpent god, Mayan, Aztec, Mayan, and anyway, the blue avians. Even Archangel Michael has been big for me, and you know, he's the blue angel, the bluebird. The blue wings, and you know, yesterday's reading was all about the blue as well. Blue, blue, blue. The blue beings. Blue wings and things. Blue lights. The disco ball. I don't know if you've so I channeled this disco ball metaphor like with the Thoth, and it was really interesting, and kind of a metaphor for how you know, to kind of understand that we are all a part of the one thing, you know, source, the all, how we are all connected. Yeah, and it was a really good metaphor. So like, if you haven't listened to it, it's on my SoundCloud Rustic Rose Design account. Yeah, I don't know if the audio was that great. It was one of my first channels, but basically, you know, like, if source is that disco ball, each panel on that ball is us, and you know, we all have a slightly different view of inside the ball and outside the ball, but we do all have the ability to shine, like each little panel on that disco ball, even if they are slightly different angle, position, size, whatever. We are all shining a light as part of the ball. Yeah. The disco ball metaphor for me has always also been like my protective shield when I've wanted to like protect my energy, like, because I am so affected by people's energies, like, it's ridiculous. I practically live as a hermit because, you know, like going to a shopping centre, I'll just be, anyway. I read somewhere, when you get into all this energy work type thing, you kind of read about how, you know, different ways to protect your energy, and, you know, I'm not exactly into I'm a bit lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff, to be honest. Like, I'm more of a, like, just the power of the mind. If I think it, then that's it. And that's what I really believe. Like, if I believe it, then it is. So anyway, like, I read somewhere that if you want to block out someone's energy, like, just imagine that there is a mirror. Like, I did this with before I moved here recently. The last place, it was like, you know, my neighbour's house was like right here, and could hear them, and their energy just their energy drove me crazy. Well, not crazy. It's just that I didn't like having someone that close to me. It was just too close. I need space. Hey, I've got a big bubble. And I had this idea, every time I'm just like felt too close to my neighbor, I would imagine a massive freaking mirror, so their energy would bounce back and wouldn't come to me. And that then got me into having that me being inside just a big disco ball. So all the mirrors, were on the outside when I wanted to not be affected by any outside energy. And I still do this disco ball, disco ball, disco ball. I've got my disco ball around me as my energy bubble, my protective energy bubble, or putting, that extra layer of protection around my energy bubble. If I just feel like my system is just on overload or whatever, because I do literally struggle, and to not be affected by others' energy, I would literally have to go live out in the bush with no one around for about probably 1 kilometre. That's how affected I am by the energies around me. I haven't obviously measured it or anything, but if I go out the bush with my dog for a walk, which I do very regularly because it feels so damn good, like that's the only place where I actually feel settled, because of how highly affected I am by other people's energies around me. Yeah, it's difficult to live that way because you don't, until you know and understand it, you don't actually realize. You just always freaking randomly get ridiculously full of shit emotions, or you don't even know why you're feeling so anxious or just overwhelmed, tired, or anyway. So okay, disco ball, teddy bear. Alright, so teddy bear is a comfort thing. The disco ball is a protective thing. Blue, I've got the colours somewhere. Tranquil, wisdom, freedom, comfort, protection, freedom, and feathers. 10 feathers or 1? Alright. Protective. Yep, okay. So that's kind of the vibe there, right? Like, and it's also kind of a bit of a fun vibe too. Maybe childlike, or the teddy bear and a blue light disco is kind of when you were younger. So maybe that childlike, maybe giving yourself that your inner child, and that inner purity, that inner innocent, sweet, pure you, the space and security and love to come out and maybe go to the shop and buy a lolly with your 10 cents. I did that when I was little. Like, favourite part of the week, to go and buy a red skin. Alright, so another synchronicity, another thing that was a thing today was there were so many crows flying over here like all day and talking all day, to the point where, you know, I couldn't help but freaking notice like there's never that many crows flying around. It was different. So I got to get my crow feather out. Been collecting feathers lately because they're just, I love them. I mean, I freaking wrote a poem about it that day. Literally, they are amazing, and I get so excited when I find one. Real big connection with the avians, I think, and the birds, and you know, the birds of the earth and the birds of the stars. Anyway, so I was reading up about the crows in my animal book, and it was really full on. I'll read it. A crow is a gregarious and extremely intelligent bird, social and joyfully interactive with others. That's not really me, but we'll continue. She is very protective of her mate and offspring, but will also defend other unrelated individuals when they are threatened. She is among a handful of creatures known to use tools in their pursuit to achieve set goals quicker. Bestowed with the mysteries and knowledge of creation, it is said that the records of all creation are bound in a book made entirely of crow feathers. Crow is the keeper of sacred law and the keeper of ancient records. As such, Crow sometimes changes the rules by shape-shifting, appearing as a wolf in sheep's clothing, for example, or duplicates by consciously creating a double of herself to test our commitment and personal resolve, travelling in collectives known infamously as murders. The feathers of the crow are said to be powerful amulets that symbolize mortality. As a creature of the void, the universal womb, the source of all understanding, inspiration, and knowing, Crow exists in the past, present, and future simultaneously, perceiving the darkness within light and the light within darkness, while seeing all worlds and dimensions from every conceivable vantage point. Therefore, Crow's power is great and her teachings strong, and she is concerned with justice, truth, and ethical principles. Governed by an unprecedented understanding of universal law, she speaks of truth and wisdom unheard of in any human law system. When we call to spirit for help, for example, we simultaneously invite change. Crow paves the way for change by ensuring that we are well equipped to face the consequences. An animal that endorses the fact that in order to open new doors, you must first be prepared to properly shut old ones. Crow is an animal that inspires the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. When it comes to initiating the change that Crow has modelled us for, we must be prepared to take it by the horns and battle it until it is defeated and complete. If we shy away at the last moment, Crow becomes annoyed that we have not honoured our end of the bargain. When one honours the ways of Crow and strives to live by the laws determined by creation, however, we are permitted to leave this world and move to the next with clear memory of our life experiences. Ruled by the element air, Crow is the keeper of the intellect. She is responsible, therefore, for thought and reason, and when invoked is said to be capable of promoting clarity of mind for the individual by breathing life into our future, by turning messages from spirit into flesh manifestation. We are honouring the laws of Crow and positively shape-shifting our consciousness. On a more personal level, Crow portends love, emotions, intuition, and intimacy, ideals that suggest positive forces at work within our lives. That's so full on. Hey, like I kind of knew crows were like spiritual and kind of seen as conduits to the other realms, but that's almost like they are the embodiment of the quantum. and ruler of the quantum, and that, yeah, so that kind of spun me out. When I read up about that, because it was one of those things like, you know, a message like you see it and it sticks in your mind. You know that it's a message to check out. So yeah, so that was the crows today. What else? Alright, messages from the ancestors. So I've got like a bunch of decks out, and looking at them now as kind of like bits and pieces from all the connections that I've experienced, like my guides, or, you know, like whatever you want to call them. I'm getting, my eyes are going to the native heart. Kind of fits in with the crow. So we'll go with the tribal flow of that. They're just so nice, hey? So, okay. The native heart deck. Healing oracle. We got self-mastery, number 2, throat chakra, 37, some gorgeous mandalas, record keeper, 4, so the crow, the record keeper. I got this stone. It is really cool. It's kind of like, I can't remember exactly what it's called now, but it's like this record keeper stone or something. It's like naturally comes in a hexagon, like purple, and it has these like kind of triangles in it. Sacred geometry. It's kind of, yeah. Sacral chakra, 40. Throat and sacral, so that's red and blue shit. It's kind of like masculine, feminine, fire, water, passion and flow, speaking your truth. Leading to self-mastery, becoming the record keeper. But yeah, God, there's beauty in sacred geometry and the mandalas, hey. I mean, I can't really get into the maths of it or anything. I can understand the concept. I mean, that does to someone what a metaphor does to me. We all have switches that activate our remembering. Metaphors was my switch and my connection. Metaphors have been like really big, and I guess, you know, signs from everywhere. I literally see signs and meanings in everything, and it becomes a language that I am having a discussion with the everything, because everything is a conversation. I mean, that sounds absolutely crazy, but literally I can use anything as a sign, and to get, just start a conversation with my everything, with my guides and my connections. And it's like as soon as I use anything to start the conversation starts. And doesn't matter what it is. If I start the conversation, they're there to have it. Yeah. 32, self-love. Soul Star Chakra. I think that's the one. When you get to the Soul Star Chakra, is I think when you're fully tapped in to our star family, or maybe that's the one where you can actually go traveling through the stars. Ooh, primal flower essence. That sounds nice. Truth, beauty, and a picture of you. That song has been coming into my head. Songs are so big with the signs, and I freaking love that. Hey, like today, like literally every song on that best of Massive Attack was like a synchronistic message, What next? Time Travelers. Time Travelers Oracle. Alright, let's see what these say. Miracles! Yay! The Northern Lights and Polar Bear. Iceland. Stillness 37. A Zen monastery in Japan. I tell you what, 37 I have been seeing almost freaking everywhere. And 27, 37 have been numbers like following me around for the past freaking 18 months. Right, let's check them out. I actually wrote the numbers down. Did I write the numbers down? Yeah. 27, union, balance, cooperation, friendship. 7's luck, elegance, glamour, wisdom. 3, choice, past, merging, creation. Well, I don't know what the angel number means, but they're like the individual number means. Numbers are just my brain has gone to the point of literally I can't not see the things that pop out at me, and numbers have been ridiculous. Especially like when I'm driving, it's just like number plates, like numbers. It's full on sometimes, and like sometimes you feel like you're kind of going a bit crazy. When you see the synchronicities, it's such a beautiful thing, though. Like, it's so special. Yeah. 17. Uluru has been big for me. For me, it's like it's been calling to me, like I need to go visit it. Red Rock, actually, I mean, Red Rock. there's a little dingo in there too. I've never seen him in there. It's like my dog. Mm. 13. Flexibility. A prehistoric bamboo forest, Southeast Asia. Tiger bamboo. Absolutely gorgeous. Reminds me of a holiday that I had in Bali. 24. Light, the angelic realm. There's our winged messages. Messengers. The blue wings. Alright. Love, 25, the Taj Mahal, and 32, power. Dinosaurs in the Jurassic period. Lucy. Vikings in the New World. Rumi of Persia. I was literally looking into a couple of videos on old Persia today. It was actually really calling me around. I think I need to go there as well. 33, protection. The Cave of the Hands, Argentina. It's really, amazing. It's so, like, the more you kind of open and feel like connected, I feel so connected to the ancient histories. Like, I really, the Oracle of Delphi, Greece. So many places I want to go. I feel like they're all calling me, like I'm remembering freaking past lives and stuff. And it's full on. It's like I'm stuck in time. It is like time travel. It's like I am part of all these old lives. Like, I feel this link with it all. I know I can't literally time travel, but I feel like part of me is there. I don't even know how to explain that. Hey, it's such a strong link. It's almost like there is another me there and we're communicating. But it's me. But I can't really remember it. But I can. It's really full on, like, weird. This, like, quantum freaking everything happening at once, weirdness of being connected, like kind of tapping into that all space and kind of literally feeling these connections but still being here. And that can be, yeah, I mean, it inspires me to know it, and the level of connection and love is ridiculous, but there's also this, I'm so homesick, like, I want to dive into that space fully and, you know, like, it's home and I miss it so bad, like when I tap into it, and I don't really fully understand that, but It has run out of battery, so I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's such a it is a beautiful space, and so many connections. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that wants to come through before I sign off. The birds say good day. Horace, the hawk. Yeah, so the view, getting a view of you from a very far back point of view, a view of your journey as a soul. Like if you can step back to that point where you can understand and appreciate a soul's journey, you have absolutely different appreciation and opinions and thought patterns about life, this life, what reality is, what to be concerned about, or what you want to do in this life, and what you'll do to get it, become it. So yeah, like having that open mind and pushing the viewpoint out to the point where you can look at yourself and everyone as souls on the path, not just this lifetime on a path of growth, but on a soul's path of growth over millennia and longer. You know what I mean? Like why a soul would choose this experience. And I actually had that thought today, last thought for this video. I actually had this thought today that when anything, for example, a difficult conversation or a weird or a challenging situation is presented to you, like it happens, something happens, that you have to deal with, and it's difficult. And most of the time, we react, we get angry or jealous or blah, blah, blah. We're literally in, we get lost in it and we react, and it's just like the end of the world type thing. In that moment, we're fully in reaction mode. But I had this thought today. It got me out. I reacted. I reacted in the moment when this happened, but very quickly after the fact, got out of it. I got out of it really quickly because of this thought that, it wasn't that person bringing me a problem. It wasn't, I don't know how to explain this very well, but it was like, as soon as I considered it from that outside perspective of a soul agreement or whatever, like, for example, it was, like a test from the universe or myself. Like, I've sent myself this test in order to see if I'm ready to go to the next level, to see, even to prove to myself as a trust exercise that I can handle this situation and I don't need to deal with a situation like that ever again, because I've like passed that test. So if we can hang on to that idea of thought when something it comes in, when we're dealing with this kind of situation, if we can think of it from outside our reactions as, okay, so this is another test. How am I going to approach this? How am I going to pass this test so I don't have to do this again? If you can look at it that way, you can pass all your tests really easily, and you don't have to keep repeating the patterns. So, yeah, like looking at it, why have I sent this to myself? What am I meant to learn from this? Because I'm pretty sure I've dealt with this problem many times before. Why is it being sent to me again? There's got to be a reason why I'm experiencing this. What can I learn from it? How can I handle it in the way that as a soul lesson, not pretend to get it out of my, this is an authentic freaking dealing with a life lesson. So it's like, you've got to learn the life lesson. You can't cheat at the life lesson. Like you've literally got to understand why that. You got to get it. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was a really kind of a, I had a difficult situation to deal with. It affected me, but then I had this thought, and it stopped. You know how kind of these kind of experiences have a flow-on effect, that it affects your energy. You kind of stay anxious, or you stay in that kind of, the conversation finished an hour ago, but you're still like going over it in your head or whatever. Like this thought kind of really, as soon as I looked at it from a teacher's perspective, what did we learn there? Why did we bring this to us today to, what lesson did we learn? What lesson did we learn? And why did you bring that to yourself today? In that way, because life in itself is kind of like that for our soul, who has come here to learn lessons like this as reminders for some reason. But there is, if we look at things in a way as it's more than just staying positive or don't be so negative. It is actually teaching yourself through finding the lessons yourself, seeing everything as you're giving yourself a lesson, and if you learn it, you don't have to experience that shit like again. Or each time you see the lesson and you work through the lesson with yourself, there's no need for that to come back in because you've learnt it. And that's how you up level. Yeah, if that makes sense. Okay. I hope that was that kind of was like fully random everywhere.